Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. So an unscheduled live stream. I figure I'll do it live, then make a video, just kind of talking about my 24 hours being back with well, not really being back because it's not my daily driver line or anything like that. But trying out Visible Mobile again, and it's kind of cool to see that they have given themselves a better identity. I mean, being known as Visible, this had a lot of people in confusion. There were people that were just like, is it Visible Wireless? Is it Visible Mobile? So now when you have the app, it is Visible Mobile. So I currently have Visible Mobile on my Pixel 5. And I did a little bit of testing with it because, one of the things that was dropped recently in news was that Visible now does eSIM activations on Android devices. Prior to this, it was iPhones only. It was a long time. I remember with the Pixel 5, it was there was always that little line underneath the Pixel 5 in the shop for Visible Mobile, and it would always tell you that eSIM support coming soon. And now it's at that point. Now it's eSIM is supported on Android devices. And I think it's only a handful of them. To be quite honest with everybody, hey Oreo, how's it going? It was really just like I believe the Pixel 4a 5G, the Pixel 5, I believe the Pixel 4a, and then they said the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, as well as some of the other Samsung Galaxy devices. And it didn't mention the Pixel 5a, but I would like to think that it's thrown in there to activate on eSIM. So let me just say what's up to everybody in here. Archie, what's up? Welcome in. Appreciate you for being here. Legendary Tech, what's up? And Uriel, how's it going? Says hello from Maryland State. Awesome. Baby Yoda, welcome in. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Gur Mondays. Yes, Gur Monday. Well, today wasn't so bad. The ghetto bird is out. Today wasn't too bad with Mondays, only just because there really wasn't much work today, so they sent everybody home early, even though we're gonna get our holiday pay. So yeah, it works out good. Andy Logan, what's going on? So as I was saying, Visible Mobile now supporting eSIM on Android devices as well as iPhones. This is good, and also could be bad. So let me just say that activation was actually really easy, right? So now you don't have to wait for Visible to mail you out a SIM card, which is actually dope because you get your service right then and there when you activate. Probably one of the big reasons why I like Google Fi so much is because it's easy for me to switch between any of my Pixels that I have because it supports eSIM. It's just downloading the eSIM and activation is good. Visible is a little bit different though, so I'll get into that here in a little bit about like how switching devices. I mean, it's not a terrible experience, but you will have to chat. We'll get into that. One of the things that I did notice though, I know the Pixel 5 doesn't support C-band, so I'm not really going to be connecting to N77. But I can tell you in my city I'm connecting to, so it's NSA, it's non-standalone 5G. I'm connected to band 5 N5 for 5G, and then it's like 4 other bands are band 66. And I think another one is, let me go to Cell Mapper on my phone and I'll be able to tell you guys what I'm connecting to out here. All right, so we got, let's see, right now it's telling me 5G, but we're not connected to 5G at all. Usually I'm connected to N5. But right now, so the bands that I'm picking up, 66, band 5, but that's LTE, band 5. Another site that's got band 5, and then another site that's got 66. So that's mostly what I'm connecting to. And yeah, that is, if you follow the telecom industry, if you guys follow Sneed and watch his videos, you guys pretty much get an idea. So one of the things I did notice though, when I run a speed test, and actually, no, I'll just do it right now for you guys. When I run the speed test, you're going to see something kind of funny. So like the last speed test I ran, was that 5.46 by 5.23. And so I'll run another speed test again. And it's almost as if like Visible recapped their data. Now, other people are reporting differently. You see how it's spiked to like 20 megabits and then it gets brought back down to 5. It's insane. Now, people that can connect to N77 with Visible report higher speeds. And then there you go. See, like the uplink shot up to like 20 and then is being brought back down. Now, on a different note, it does kind of make sense only because Visible has a high QCI level compared to like, Verizon postpaid, Verizon prepaid, and more than likely, obviously Verizon business. So there we go, 5.71 by 5.27. I mean, that's not terrible. You're able to get on Facebook, Twitter, you're able to, stream YouTube, but it's only going to be like at 4080p. So you're still going to be able to do a lot of the things that you want to be able to do. But, if you are a high-speed data junkie, then of course you're going to look at that and frown and say, oh, that's garbage. But realistically, doing things like on Twitter and Facebook and everything, it's going to be able to handle it. I do everything on that phone, and I don't feel like it's a hindrance at all whatsoever, honestly speaking. I don't feel like I want to throw my phone. I don't feel like that there's ever a point where it's just like, so terrible. Huh? Okay. Okay. So, being it as it is, Visible it's handling okay for what I needed to. Sorry about that. I had to have a conversation. Now it is connected with Esim, so I can't really say anything otherwise differently. Like if there's going to be like a huge major difference between Esim and physical SIM. I'm actually going to run that test probably tomorrow, only because there's another phone line in this house that is using Visible and it's using it with a physical SIM card. As I handed over my Pixel 5a to a family member, so that way she can utilize it since I'm not really using it. So I'm gonna test it out and see if there is some sort of difference in connectivity. Is it because of this eSIM connection or not? I mean, those are the things that I'm sure people want to know about, and so I'm going to be doing some comparisons and everything like that regarding Visible in this next coming month. Do I intend to keep Visible? Probably. It depends. If everything goes well, I'll probably downgrade my Google Fi to the Flex plan, since my Pixel 4 is running my Google Fi line, and if you guys can see, it's running on DSDS. So I have Google Fi downloaded to eSIM, and then I'm using the Metro tablet line for data. Really, I don't have to, because Google Fi, the Unlimited Plus plan gives me about 50 gigs of data, high-speed data, and wow, that just crashed. Why did it crash all of a sudden? Well, we'll see what happens. Oh my gosh. But anyways, how's the new job doing? The new job's doing good. It's been there solid 2 months already. At the end of June, I hit my 3 months there. So I'm doing good there. I like it. I really like the job. But anyways, big question, and that's if you use Visible and you use it with eSIM, is it easy to swap devices? What's up, B-Tech Reviews? What's going on? And I'll tell you right now, it kind of is and it kind of isn't. I mean, it just really depends on you if you're okay with chatting it up with some sort of rep. Because you do need to chat with a rep in order to transfer service from one device to another. But it's fairly easy to do it. So when I first signed up for Visible and I activated with eSIM, I activated it on the Pixel 5. And then to test out how to switch from one device to another, I chatted with them and told them I wanted to move my service to my Pixel 6. and it was fairly easy to do. Um, Basically, they just asked for my IMEI. I gave that to them, and they just told me to wait a minute. I think it was like less than 2 minutes. They hit me back and they were like, "Hey, go ahead and exit the app and relaunch the app, and it should bring you to next steps," which I did. As soon as I closed out the app, which it didn't close out the chat, it just, closed out the app, relaunched the app, and the screen popped up and it was like, continue where you left off. You hit next and it starts, downloading your eSIM, and it goes through the process of setting it up. So then I ran Visible on my Pixel 6 all day yesterday for the remainder of yesterday, and then into today. And when I got off work early and came home, I decided to chat up with Visible and make the switch back to my Pixel 5. And same process, gave them the IMEI. And especially with the Pixel phones, they have 2 IMEIs. It's the second one that you have to give them, not the first one. So the SIM slot 1 is for the physical SIM. SIM slot 2 is for eSIM. So you got to give them the IMEI to SIM slot 2. Same thing, close the app, relaunch it, and it should bring you to next steps. I did that. I ran into a hiccup, but it wasn't Visible's fault. I had totally forgot that I had the Google Fi eSIM downloaded on here already, even though I had switched services. So when you switch on Google Fi, like say, I have it on my Pixel 5, and then I go into the Google Fi app on my Pixel 4 and download the eSIM and activate. Even though services is activated here, the eSIM for Google Fi is still on the Pixel 5. You have to actually go in there and erase it completely out of there. And so I had to do that. When I did that, then I was able to actually activate it. The download of the eSIM for Visible went through. Not a problem. You want to do the free trial? I don't know if the free trial applies to Android devices, because when I was setting up with Visible to use my when I started off with my Pixel 5, it didn't give me the option to try it for 15 days. So I don't know if that's still like an iPhone exclusive thing, because I know those people with iPhones were able to try it for 15 days. But it didn't give me the option to try it for 15 days before actually paying for the service. So when I was setting up, it still wanted to do the $15 off, so it was going to charge me $25 for my first month. But somebody in the house does have Visible as a secondary line, and so I used their referral code to knock my first bill down to $5. And then, I'm going to join a party here in a little bit. I haven't joined a party yet, so my next bill is showing $40 still. So once I join a party, then it'll be dropped down to like 25, depending on how many people is in that party pay group. And then that's going to be the plan. So really, switching devices on Visible is not terrible. You do have to chat it up with the rep through the chat on the app. Really, that's really what it is. So yeah, it could be nicer if they allowed it, if there was like a section in the Visible mobile app that when you download it, install it on a new phone, and you sign into it, it should just let you toggle to download the eSIM if you're going to run it on eSIM. You can join Mint. I don't have any plans to join Mint just because I have Google Fi, which runs on T-Mobile, and I have Metro that runs on T-Mobile. I don't need another MVNO that's running on T-Mobile. The only reason why I grabbed Visible, one was to help the person with their Visible plan, because by me signing up made their bill $5 instead of $25. And so they paid their bill for $5. I paid my first month for $5, and more than likely, I'm probably not even going to keep Visible, to be honest with everybody. I'm giving them another shot for 30 days just to kind of see how they are, kind of give an update to how services has been for me. I can't say that the way that the services is for me here is going to be exactly how it is over there. Uriel says, I've had Visible for 2 years now. Do you think Google Fi is better? So here's the thing. In my area, T-Mobile is more dominant. It really is. T-Mobile has gotten so much better in my city that it pulls better speeds mostly everywhere that I go compared to Verizon and AT&T. So here, Google Fi actually is more beneficial to me, but it's on a different reason why I feel it is. One, I have family outside of the U.S. that I communicate with quite a bit, and so Google Fi allows me to call them at no additional charge because it is one of the 50 countries supported for free phone calls from the U.S. to them. Yeah, I am in Arizona, and then besides that, there's just other Google eccentric things that kind of ties into Google Fi and why it works for me. Visible, when I was first approached by Visible, I think it was like 3 years ago. I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, to review their services and everything. They were doing really good, but that's obviously because they were a brand new company. When they approached me to do a review of the Visible services, they were only like a year old, and so there still wasn't a lot of people on Visible. So data speeds was like amazing back then because there's not a lot of people that was using it. Mostly everyone was like on Metro and Boost Mobile and Cricket, Mint Mobile, etc. Now I can't really say the same because when word of mouth got out about Visible, like more and more people signed up because you get unlimited everything for $40, taxes and fees included. And the even crazy part about that is that you get basically an unlimited hotspot. Yeah, it is said to be capped at 5 megabits per second. I've used hotspot for like my laptops and stuff, and they've gone beyond 5 megabits per second on the download. But it was unlimited. And then they told people that you can only link one device at a time to your hotspot. And I was able to link 5 things in my room to my Visible hotspot. As a matter of fact, before I even got home Wi-Fi, I was literally running everything off the Visible hotspot. Stadia gaming wasn't the best. It did glitch out every now and then, because the ping times, or basically the latency of the, Visible's connection is kind of bad, upper hundreds, like 100 millisecond ping. That's kind of bad. But I was still able to game online. I was still able to play things like Streets of Rage, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Battle for the Grid. I was able to play Guilt, Little Nightmares 1 and 2. I was able to play those types of games, and it was just fine. I mean, every now and then it would kind of just glitch a little, but it was able to do it. But Visible gave you everything for $40, and then when they introduced Party Pay, you had Party Pay. You can reduce your bill down to $25 a month. So $25 a month for just basically unlimited everything. If Verizon worked good in your area, you were decent, right? So it's really hard for me, Uriel, to basically say if Google Fi is better than Visible, because I think that right there is a very subjective thing. When it comes to network connections, I'm not saying anything about anybody else, but I can't really recommend specific ones because where I'm at and how things work here may not be the same way in your area. Like your area could be predominantly Verizon, and Verizon could be the best service in your area. If I was to recommend something with T-Mobile and T-Mobile is hot garbage in your city, then you know what? This is why people get so frustrated on social media, and they start calling people liars and stuff like that. And it's because when it comes to network connectivity, it's based upon where you are and what works the best in your area. You have to factor in how many towers are in your city. You have to factor in how many people are using that specific service, because you can have like more Verizon towers in there. But if mostly everyone in your town is on Verizon, then you also got to factor in congestion and things like that. So there's a lot of things that go in play. Now, if you're going to strip all that away and just say what are you benefiting the most from? If you're a person who travels and if you're a person who calls outside of the US a lot, Google Fi is going to be your best bet. If you just want something that's like unlimited, set it and forget it and just go forward, then Visible or US Cellular. So that's a very, very different thing. US Cellular is actually its own. It's not an MVNO. It's not a prepaid. US Cellular, I've used it out Midwest. I've actually used it out at a time when I lived in Oklahoma, and they were pretty decent. How they are right now, they're slightly okay. I think the last time when I had Google Fi, which does use US Cellular's network whenever it's available, when I went to Oklahoma, T-Mobile wasn't all that great, so my phone predominantly was switched over to US Cellular on Google Fi for connection, and it did okay. their 5G was, I mean, it was hitting about 80 megabits on the down and about like 20, like 15 to 20 on the uplink. So US cellular is not that bad. Um, I can't say how it is right now because I haven't been out Midwest in a while. I do plan to go see my dad sometime by the end of this year, and of course, I'll have Google Fi then, which does use US Cellular as one of the carriers it connects to, so I can test it out then and do some speed tests out there and see how it does. I'll probably switch the Google Fi to the Pixel 6, or at the time, probably the Pixel 6a, and then run those tests. So yeah, let's keep it locked with me. I mean, I know it's going to take some time, but I got things going on here like work and such, and so I do got to make sure that I can take the time to go and see my dad. Usually that's what I do. I go to see my dad like when I need to recharge mentally from a lot of things that goes on. So I'll definitely test out US Cellular with using Google Fi service. Basically, it's able to connect to it. There's a reason why I won't get Mint Mobile, because there's no reason for me to get Mint Mobile. Google Fi uses T-Mobile's network, and it pretty much uses it just about the same as like how Metro connects and how Mint Mobile connects. There is a slight little bit of difference in certain areas here in my city. Like I know certain areas that had N41 connection, but yet with my phone, it would just connect to N71, which is T-Mobile's 600 megahertz spectrum. So not the fastest speeds, but pretty decent and pretty strong. I mean, it can go inside buildings pretty good. Chad, what's going on, man? Welcome in. So I mean, that's what I can say on that. But like, yeah, if you really want to think about it, every MVNO, every prepaid carrier is gonna have something they're very good at and something they're very crappy at. And the reason why is just it's really like pick your poison. Like which do you identify more with of needing? That would always be like the thing, right? Google Fi, I will always say, is probably the best option for travelers, just because you don't have to add on additional service packages or pay additional for data and phone usage. You fly to wherever you're going, and if it's one of the 170 countries that Google Fi is supported with, once you land, your phone's going to work when you're out there. There's videos of like various people who tested out Google Fi traveling, and they will show you like in flight, they fly from like they'll be flying over Russia going to Korea, or going to China actually. And when they flew over Russia, like Google Fi, their phone like literally just popped a message on the screen saying "Welcome to Russia" while mid-flight. When they passed South Korea, welcome to South Korea. When they landed in China, they got off the plane, welcome to China. And the cool thing about Google Fi is that any country could have like a firewall that they govern what their citizens look at. And if you have Google Fi service internationally, you can overcome those firewalls. So if the country does not allow people to connect to Facebook in their country, you will be able to. That was proven when Josh Vergara went to China and tested out Google Fi. Back then it was called Project Fi, but they went out there and they tested it while they were out there in China for, I think, an Oppo event. And he configured Project Fi to work inside of his Oppo phone. And then he was like amazed on just how he was able to connect to Google Drive. He was able to connect to everything. And like the other thing that I think is pretty cool about Google Fi is obviously they give you a free VPN, right? You're not paying additional to have encrypted data. You can do that. They give you that. So that's actually pretty cool. Visible, on the other hand, Visible is just like really the closest thing that I would say that's like to an unlimited everything. There's no throttling, no data cap. Basically, with Visible, it's just you're going to use the data. You're going to use the data. The caveat to Visible that I can tell everybody that's obvious about it is because of the higher QCI level, right? So it's lower priority data. So you can have like Verizon prepaid run a speed test in the exact same spot, probably pull maybe like 400, 500, 600, 700 megabits on the down, about 150 to 200 megabits per second on the uplink, if it's really that good. And in that same spot, you test Visible, and Visible is going to be like way less on the downlink and way less on the uplink. So that's the only downside to it. And it's not just because it's not that Visible is terrible, because Visible is owned by Verizon. It is their prepaid. I usually make the mistake of calling them an MVNO, but it's their prepaid. So they have Verizon prepaid, they have Visible Mobile. Both are prepaid, both are owned and operated. Verizon, Visible operates as a separate entity. They have their own people running the show, but they are in fact Verizon. And they have a very low QCI, or low priority, in layman's term, low priority access to Verizon's network. It is the way it is. Like, there's a lot of people that's on Reddit that's arguing back and forth, even till today, that Visible customers don't get access to C-band or N77. And then there's several friends of mine who have reported that they have Visible and they were able to connect to C-band. C-band is mid-band 5G, and it's pretty much what I call the filler, right? You have low band, which is what T-Mobile is most known for. N41, whether you like it or not, is low band 5G. It is fast because I can get about 400 or 500 megabits per second on the download at a good day. At a basic day, about 300 megabits per second on the down and about 80 on the uplink. So N77 is a filler. It's a mid-band. Mid-band, kind of like in between. So it varies. You can have, 2, 3, 400 megabits per second on the download, up to as high as like 1.5 gigabits per second. So it's not millimeter wave, but it peaks in the gigabit per second range. And that's mid-band. And you got millimeter wave, that's like 4 to 5 gigabits per second on the downlink. So it gets pretty crazy. I'm hoping to get a free Moto G Power 2022 if I switch to Cricket this week. If AT&T runs good in your area, then you should be good on that. Yeah, it is like I tell everybody, when it comes to this network connections, it just depends on what's good in your area. I think Mike from BTech Review, in his area, T-Mobile does better. And like, yeah, I'm kind of over that whole thing of like trashing a particular carrier or anything like that. I don't really feel a reason to actually do that. Just because, like, not one carrier is going to predominantly cover everywhere across the country from coast to coast and from border to border, right? There's going to be cities that, Verizon's best in, cities that T-Mobile's best in, and AT&T does best in. So it's never going to be like one size fits all for everybody. That's why, like, my answers is always so vague, because it just depends on what works best in your area. Really? Oh, can you do me a favor? Can you bring the Pixel 5a so I can do a speed test on yours with the Visible SIM versus eSIM? You want to bring me? I'm going to do the test now for you guys, and we're going to see if it's because of the eSIM why I'm getting slower data speeds with my line versus her line that has the actual Visible SIM card. Verizon has been mad lately. You also got to think too, Verizon could be like super good in your area, and then like right now you could be like, what the hell's going on with Verizon? Why are they slowing down? And it could be because in fact that they are upgrading. Like, Verizon is bringing C-band to markets, and so you have to remember that too. If you're a globetrotter and have good T-Mobile coverage, then Google Fi might keep you happy. Yeah, exactly. Alternate reality said it exactly. And that's the key right there. T-Mobile and US Cellular. I know T-Mobile's like predominantly, known to Google Fi, but that's just because T-Mobile has more coverage nationwide than US Cellular does. US Cellular, I think, has NorCal and Midwest areas. So, all right. So I'm gonna run a speed test on my Pixel 5 with Visible using eSIM. I'm not going to run them at the same time, because then that defeats the purpose of it. I want a clear connection with this phone and then a clear connection with the other one. So as you can see, it's being pulled down to like 5 megabits per second on the downlink, and this is what Visible used to cap their speeds at before. So I think like 4 years ago, they were going to uncap their data. And that's where, like myself, Jay Wills, and a lot of other YouTubers that were approached by Visible to cover their services, they download the Ookla speed test if you don't have it.
I don't have it. Why would I have that?
I'm just saying.
What is it for?
Just type speed test, and it's called Ookla. You'll see it. It's going to be the very first option. All right, so this is the speeds we get. Yeah, that's funny. 5.27 by 5.22. Okay. Once this is done, continue. Gotta do the setup since the app was just recently installed. Okay. All right. So we have visible. Let me see what server I was connected to. So this one, Verizon in San Diego. So let me change the server to the same one. Verizon in San Diego. All right. So you guys see Verizon in San Diego. So let's run the speed test and see if there's a difference with it. Now I know the Pixel 5a doesn't have millimeter wave support. So yeah, we're not expecting that. Whoa. That is a significant difference. Holy. 190 on the download. 190. The uplink is going to be at, holy shnikes, what the hell? 34. That's a big difference. Big difference. 70. Wow. 209 on the down and 28.9 on the uplink. That's really good uplink. I mean, to do a decent live stream, you need at least 10 megabits per second on the uplink, and that's with a physical SIM card. And again, back to eSIM supported Pixel 5, right? The Pixel 5 has a better connectivity on things, and back down to 5. So that is a very big difference. Very big difference. I don't know why the eSIM. Yeah, you can see it's being pulled back. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure why they do that. But those speeds is more doable than yeah, wow. That is crazy. Again, capped at 5. I'm not sure if there's a reason. I have to do more research into it. Hopefully Sneed them can actually give me some insight on that too. So I'm probably going to reach out to Sneed and get a little bit more insight from him to find out exactly why. Why is eSIM supported visible phones pulling 5x5 on the on the downlink and the uplink, and then phones that have the not the eSIM, but the physical SIM is pulling, you know, in the same area that I'm at, pulling 200 by. Wow, that's just oh my god. If Visible was working with my Sony phone, I would be using them for $25. It's a deal for US users. Yeah, exactly. It is. I mean, if you think about it, right? That's the cheapest that you're going to get for phone service. And if Verizon does well in your area and areas that you travel, well, then you're going to be fine. As you just saw, a non-millimeter wave phone, non-millimeter wave, pulled a significant amount. I'm probably going to clip this speed test and just kind of show it to Sneed them tomorrow. Not going into work tomorrow. I got stuff to take care of, so took a personal day off tomorrow. That's the last one I'm going to take for a while. So there you have it. Speed test. Wow. What are your guys' thoughts between the comparison between a physical SIM and then, you know, eSIM? And if it continues to be this way, like seriously, I'm going to chat with Visible and see if they send me out a physical SIM card. eSIM should not perform in this way. The whole entire point of eSIM, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, the whole reason for eSIM was to stop waste, right? You know, having a SIM card made out of plastic and such like that, you know, and then those things, you know, getting shot to hell and ended up in landfills, you know, pollution, right? So the whole point of eSIM really is to cut out the need of having to get a physical SIM card. It's to cut out the need to mail things. Like Visible has always intended to try and save the company money so they can invest the money that they would have spent into customers to have better customer experience, right? So if you kind of think about it, so with Visible, there's no physical stores, so they don't have to pay rent for a particular area. They don't have to pay an electric bill. because everything's done online. It is the first prepaid carrier that is a virtual experience. Everything is done through an app, but not like Text Now and other services. Reduced cost is visible. Yeah. Absolutely crazy in my findings for that speed test. So, who knows? If Visible does better with the eSIM, I may just keep the services. And like I said, I may just downgrade my Google Fi from the Unlimited Plus, which, I get a lot of benefits out of it, down to the Flex plan where I'm only paying $20 because I have the Metro tablet line on here. Sorry about that. The Sully chip is firing off. But I have the tablet SIM in the Pixel 4. So running it in a dual SIM, dual standby, using data from the Metro tablet line and then phone calls and texts from the Google Fi number. And RCS does work that way. It's not a big issue. AT&T needs their own version of Visible. You know what? That would actually be kind of cool. Or they can just convert Cricket into that. I mean, Cricket is owned by AT&T. If not, they have AT&T prepaid and they can just convert that. But it depends. Lawrence, what's going on, bro? Now, you're coming in right now. I don't know if you saw the speed test, but I did a speed test comparison. So later on, kind of go back to like the 30-minute mark of my live stream. I did a speed test between a phone with a physical visible SIM card in it and then eSIM on Android. So the Pixel 5a has a physical SIM in it. The eSIM is on my Pixel 5. Now we know that the 5a doesn't support millimeter wave, so that's not going to be the reason why that it was able to do 200 megabits on the down. And what was it like? I want to say like 60, 70, or like somewhere around there, or like 30, somewhere around there. I forgot what the uplink was, but it had a high uplink for the physical SIM. And then the eSIM was, AT&T needs a 25 tier for prepaid unlimited. Well, I mean, Visible technically is not 25, right? You have to be in a party pay to get that discount. So if you were to sign up for Visible and not link up with anyone's party pay, you're at $40 with taxes and fees included. I know everyone's used to 25 because it's just so like they open where there's no limitations to joining a party. I mean, there was a link that was shared with me that was a party pay that had I think 1,100 people in it. So like, yeah, you just join that party pay and then you're at $25 a month. So, I mean, a lot of people are used to seeing Visible at 25 just because people are really joining up. Like, Visible did a smart move with the whole party pay thing. That's a great idea. And you get massive savings. And obviously it worked out for them. The caveat to Visible, and the reason why I'm so iffy about them, is the last time that I was really good, like really gun-hoing for Visible, at 500 in credit, they shut down my account because I had too much credit. Literally, I had years of free service, and like I was pissed because I earned that. It was word of mouth. I shared my code, and when I shared my code, people used it to sign up for Visible, and every person who used that code to sign up was a $20 credit back then with their old referral program. And so I amassed 500 people. Not 500, $500. It was like 25 people. And that got me that credit. And then Visible realized I wasn't making a payment because I didn't need to. Every month I was like being a dumbass and bragging about it too. So I would jump on there and be like, I don't pay a Visible bill, and I would show how much credit I have, and then they finally took it away. YMCA has 11,000. Thanks for the correction, Lawrence. There's 11,000 people in that party, and that's a lot of people. So yeah, if you join that party, you're for sure paying $25 a month, for sure, like, hands down. Now, Verizon has certain areas in my city that it does good at. But even when I had Verizon postpaid, there was very, very spotty areas of millimeter wave access. And I'm sure someone would say, well, it's because you have the Pixel 5 Snapdragon X52 modem. That's why. And okay, I get that. You know what I mean? Um, but I would still be able to connect to millimeter wave. Maybe not as fast as like a device that had an X60 modem, or even, I want to say the X55, because I've seen tests from phones that have the X55 modem, and they seem just slightly a little better than those phones that had the X52 modem. But the X60 modem, definitely you see a huge difference if you have a phone that has an X60 and then run the speed test millimeter wave with the Pixel 5 that has the X52, and you're going to see a drastic difference. Like when I was on Verizon, at the Verizon store, when I used to go visit them to buy accessories and stuff like that, because I got a gift card from Verizon for signing up. I would go buy stuff, like I bought those Beats wireless buds, and inside the Verizon store they have a node that's pushing out millimeter wave. So when I was outside in the parking lot, I did a speed test and hit about 3 gigabits on the down, about 800, 7 to 800 on the uplink. That's pretty good. I'm 700 to 800 megabits per second on the uplink, so that was not bad at all. I'm sure a phone that had an X60 modem would definitely hit 4 gigs, 5 gigs on the down, and about 1.5 gigs to 2 gigs on the up. So yeah, the modem does play a big part on connectivity and downlink and uplink. You also have to factor those things in too. Now, the question is, I'm using the Pixel 4, I'm using the Pixel 5. Where's the Pixel 6? Sitting on the shelf. I've shelved it for now. I don't know, just for lately, I've just been binge using the Pixel 4. I've just been binge using this phone. Face unlock and everything is just awesome. So yeah, I only paid $5 a month with Visible since I started my service with all the referral I got. Yeah, it's cool how their referral program works kind of now, but that's what I'm real scared about, because you have 12 spots. You can refer 12 people, and you'd be paying $5 a month for a year. The cool thing about it is say you've referred 12 people, so you got 12 months for $5 a month, and then your next bill comes up and you only pay $5, so now it drops to 11. If somebody uses your referral code and signs up with Visible, it goes back up to having 12 months because you've just referred another person. So it's not limited to just 12 people, but the max that you can carry at a time is 12 months of $5 payments. So technically you can go unlimited if you think about it, just by people just using your referral code and signing up for Visible. The downside to it is and my fear is that if they catch on to that you are really, really raking in the system, they can just disconnect your service, because that's what they did to me. I had no idea they set my account to cancel. The only way I found out was when an email notification came in, and it was from Visible, and they said, "We're sorry to see you go," which had me scratching my head. And then when I logged into Visible, it would say that the account no longer existed, and I was pissed. Yeah, same as with Boost Mobile. Boost Mobile is on some next level. I have one more month on Boost Mobile before whatever account they stuck this phone's IMEI on is canceled completely. I still have the EBB program with Boost Mobile. They have not converted my account to ATP. So I still pay nothing for the unlimited plan with 35 gigs and 12 gigs of hotspot. I pay nothing for that. My bill just resetted recently. Every month on the 23rd, it resets. And so, yeah, I'm still on it. And when I go to check my plan, it still tells me I'm on the EBB. I know Los was telling me that he has a hookup with Boost Mobile that can convert my Boost Mobile line from the expanded network, which runs on T-Mobile, to the transformed network that runs on AT&T. But my downside of AT&T is that AT&T has gotten really bad in my city. It's really, really, really bad. Hopefully they start to pick up here and do make some adjustments and put up some more towers and upgrade other towers, bringing C-band support also as well, because AT&T has C-band as well. They also have millimeter wave as well, and I really want to see AT&T kind of step that up, because when I tested out, when I had Los Mobile AT&T before all the physical SIMs shut down and converted to eSIM only, I got decent speeds on Los Mobile, but then all of a sudden it just went really south. And like now, last time I tested before the shutdown, I was only pulling like maybe 25 on the download, about 1 to 2 megabit per second on the upload, and then like I never asked Los to hook up another Los Mobile AT&T side line, just because like I mean he's my friend, and the way that I look at it is that I don't want him to feel like that I'm only his friend because of something, you know what I mean? So I'm his friend even without getting anything. And that's just me. That's just how I feel. I'm not saying anything about anybody else. That's just how I feel. I don't like to feel like that, like I'm being given something and, like I'm not putting anything of equal value into the friendship. So with that being said, I tried out Cricket. I tried Cricket Wireless for 1 month and it was crap. So that's AT&T in my area. AT&T is, it's pretty bad. Hopefully they get better in the next year. Hopefully, with the upgrades they're going to do, they make something out of it. Because then also there's Dish or Boost Infinite, whenever that comes around. So AT&T deprioed Los. It sucks. I mean, I don't know, because when I had Los AT&T, a Los Mobile line on the AT&T side equivalent to Business Elite. So there was no deprioritization. And I know that for a fact because I was actually running that phone. Like Los would always tell me, like, use the hotspot. And I was using the hotspot on my phone to literally like run everything in my house, and it did it well. But also that contributed to what happened with Los and the fallout that he had with AT&T. So he had to renegotiate his deal with AT&T, and now it is what it is right now. Obviously, eSIM support. Every time that I chat with Los, he's always like, "Give me your IMEI to your eSIM," and I just don't want I just don't want him to do that. I know he was like, you're helping me out, you're testing out, Los Mobile and everything like that, and that's cool and everything like that. But right now, his focus is on Dish. I think a lot of people's focused on Dish too as well, and so that's a pretty cool thing. Dish and what they're doing, once they're available in my city, like I've already signed up to, I guess you can say, beta test it. I've gotten an email back from them that says that when they go live here in my city, they will reach out to me. Of course, I don't know if by then they'll support other phones, or if there's only specific phones that they have that I'm gonna have to buy in order to test it out. But if that happens, of course I'll buy the phone. Right now, money's being saved up for the Pixel 6a, the Pixel Buds Pro, the Pixel Tablet, the Pixel Watch, and then the Pixel 7. So I got a lot of Pixel stuff to buy this year. It's gonna be absolutely crazy. Unsubscribe, dislike, reported, delete Google account, deleted YouTube app. What the hell are you talking about? No. Somebody give Latrell a biscuit, because he's probably having to drive that Toyota Corolla tonight. It is what it is, man. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it that. I'm gonna continue to see where Visible goes. Maybe I'll do another month of Visible, but what I'll probably do is just get the physical SIM. I'll give it this whole bill cycle to see if anything changes. This is all your fault. I hate the Corolla. Really. I don't know much about that, man, but I mean, that's what happens. That's what happened. I mean, I don't really give that dude that type of attention or anything like that, just because I know that he feeds on that. So I'm not really too worried about it. Los is a good businessman. He's got the good mindset for the business, so he knows what to do. Dish is not that great. I hate the data caps. I wouldn't want them. Are you currently using? Like, are you on the beta testing program for Dish? It's like, I'm not talking about like Boost Mobile. Boost Mobile's not even on Dish yet. I'm not too sure. Let me know. because like we don't have it here, so I wouldn't know how good it is. I see Los doing his speed tests and stuff like that, and he talks about them. I didn't know that they even had caps. I thought like it was like $30 a month, and there was no data caps at all. I hope one of the lights in the back burns out. That's not going to be good for you and your Corolla, because then you'll get rear-ended. But I really couldn't say. I couldn't say. Can't speak on Dish. I'm hoping they do good. I really am. I'm also still doing research to find out when or if Apple is actually going to start providing services for iPhones. So you'd be able to sign up and get service through Apple, which would be pretty cool. I'm on the list for Mobile X. Nice. Awesome. Mobile X is... I'm really interested in trying to understand what Mobile X is going to do. Like, I get that, they say like, it's like you're going to pay for what you use type of thing. I just want to know, like, what are the prices? You know what I mean? Because that was probably the only like caveat to Google Fi on the Flex plan, is that you pay $10 per gig, right? Some people feel like $10 per gigabyte is really expensive. It's all good. I could have had Stadium Light attached to the car, and people would still somehow I know Cricket doesn't work that good in your area. Did it? Okay. I'm going to start cutting it now. I know Cricket doesn't work that good in your area, but I will tell you... Well, let me go back to that. But I will tell you, I think Cricket has the best plan for the money, considering you get premium data. And yeah, but even if here's my thought process on that. I'm not trashing Cricket and saying that they're bad, but they can give me all the premium data. If it's unusable for me here, then I'm just wasting my money, right? And it's like, if Visible's sucked in your area, there's no reason for you to be on Visible, regardless if you're only paying $25 a month for it, because what's the point of having it if you can't use it? You know what I mean? When in fact AT&T gets better here, then that would be great for AT&T and Cricket customers, because then they'll be able to utilize it. And AT&T's growth seems a bit slow for what they're pushing out. Thinking about getting T-Mobile data only SIM for my Galaxy Book S. Hey, why not? No one has any clue what Mobile X will bring. Getting to that point, I'm on fire right now. It does discourage speed testing. I mean, yeah, you don't on Google Fi, you definitely don't want to do speed testing, because you will eat data fast if you're always going to be speed testing on it. Even if you're on the Unlimited Plus, even though they did raise the cap on the high-speed data, so it's like 50 gigs on the Unlimited Plus and then 35 on the simple Unlimited, that's still capped data, right? I don't know what went down with the negotiations between T-Mobile and the MVNO companies they support, but I really felt like Google Fi should have been pushing for deprioed rather than capped. At least for the Unlimited Plus, because then that would be even beneficial. Like, it's $65. Taxes and fees are not included for that. Yes, you do get some perks. International usage, international calls to 50 countries, usage in 170 countries. Yeah, you get all that, but then that 50 gig cap is like, I know I can hit that. If I didn't have Wi-Fi, definitely for sure would hit that, right? Like, right now I have it in my Pixel 4, because there's no way for me to toggle it to LTE. When you use Google Fi on a 5G phone, it's going to stick to 5G only. You can't bring it down to LTE. And I've only used 3.46 gigs for the month. So it doesn't seem like I'm reaching 50, right? But if I didn't have Wi-Fi support and I wasn't using a tablet SIM in conjunction with the Google Fi eSIM, I for damn sure know I would pass 50 gigs. Because when I was using my Metro line before I gave it to my daughter, before getting the Metro home internet off of T-Mobile's home internet, I was pulling about 120 to 130 gigs in a 30-day span. It seems like to me, Tito, that Verizon is probably your best bet. So any MVNO that uses Verizon would probably work good. I just did a speed test earlier. So if you want to catch the replay, Tim, at about 30 minutes, like between 25 minutes to 30 minutes into this live stream, I did a speed test. I was using Visible eSIM on my Pixel 5. I'm using it right now. So this is activated with eSIM on Visible. And I used the Pixel 5a that had a physical SIM card from Visible in it. And the physical SIM card did way better in speeds right here where I'm sitting at. It pulled 200 down and about, I think it's like 30 to 60 up, somewhere around there on the uplink. While this is like at 5x5. So 5.27 megabits down, 5.22 megabits up. There's something weird with the eSIM connection. But anyways, everybody, dinner is ready. I'm gonna go eat right now and enjoy the rest of my night. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Y'all made this live stream pretty lit tonight. So I thank everybody for coming in. Thank everybody for the likes. Share this out too. And yeah, I will see you guys this Saturday for another live stream. And I'll probably do like a separate video showing the speed test again between both eSIM versus non-eSIM visible connection. So stay tuned for that video. Be on the lookout for it. Thank you guys for sharing your insight and what works for you guys. I really appreciate that. And yeah, you guys have a good night. Be safe out there. Happy Memorial Day. Be safe in what you're doing. If you're barbecuing and having a few drinks, please have a designated driver. Get home safely. I want to see you guys on the podcast Saturday, so please be careful. All right. Yeah. Till then, talk to y'all later. Thanks.